I'm going. And we're
Just getting started.
live. Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. And tonight we discuss episode 7, Top Hat, from HBO's The Penguin. And what a fucking episode. The penultimate episode.
Yeah.
Which is the episode before the final, in case you're thick like me. So, yeah, I am joined here for the first time on this episode review with Blue Collar Loser and regular co-host Load of Toxicity. How you doing, man?
I feel like you guys are co-opting that word penultimate for me because I was using it and now I feel like everybody's using it.
I've heard it a few times before in TV magazines. I just don't think I've ever used it. I think this might be the first time I've used it in a sentence in my entire life. I don't know.
It's better when you speak American so we can understand you.
Yeah. Have you noticed Blue in the last year or so? He's gotten his accent's got like a lot better.
Even on open bar, I notice every time open bar when he does impressions, like the people in the comments like, "Hey, we can actually understand him." It's like only when he does accents you can understand him.
Oh, good. I'm glad someone in the comments has recognised my gift, if you can call it that. So before we start, I'm just going to go through the synopsis. If you don't worry about catching up or not, Blue, I fucked up last time when you sent me the slats for the shield.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to walk you through it, so it's all right.
Yeah. So let me get my notes. Okay, at the beginning, episode 7, Top Hats. It starts off with the Penguin wants to spend time with his mum, who's struggling with the bills, and we see his siblings get in trouble but get let off, much to Oz's dismay. But that could mostly be because they're getting the attention that Oz isn't. So he's obviously a fucking mama's boy who always has to be the center of attention.
Meh.
And Nix, thanks for joining us in the chat. And she's told by his mum Francine to go out with his older brothers. And we found out his older brother Benny runs errands for mobster Rex Calabrese, the guy Oz mentioned in the first episode.
Real quick, I know you guys remember this. Remember this, West? The whole like, hey boys, the second streetlights come on, the streetlights were your timer. That was the time to come back home. So the streetlights, once they come on,
we'll get on there. Just let me run through the synopsis, then we can all start talking about it.
I love that.
Okay, so yeah, Bunny is obviously not keen on his family being involved, but Oz already recognises that he's a gangster, and you can tell straight away he wants in. They go to play hide and seek in the abandoned tunnel that is now used for the Bliss in the present day. He finds them but nearly slips due to the running water and his shitty foot, and he locks them in the tunnel and leaves them out of them embarrassing him. His mum gets worried, but Oz reassures her that they're both safe and they're watching some movie or they're at the arcades. And while his brothers are drowning, they watch an old movie, which I think is Ginger Rogers or Fred Astaire, who's donning a top hat and using his cane to gun down the backing dancers, which probably has no relation to Oz whatsoever. We see the jar of the flowers overflowing in the rain, and Oz smiles, and we already know his brothers are fucking dead. Cut to the present.
Dun-dun.
Present day, Oz returns to the shitty apartment to find it's been trashed. Vicky's unconscious and Ma, Francine, is kidnapped. Oz tells Vic to gather the men. Sal and his men walk in and start beating up Oz with the golf clubs, and even though his accomplice protests, Sal lets him know he's not done with him, puts him on the phone to Sophia after Oz pleads, and Sal drags Oz out, forcing him to lead him to the Bliss, while letting him know he's going to pay for his crimes. Got to Sophia, letting her... having a little exchange with Ma Cobb, who doesn't frighten easily and taunts Sophia. Sophia uses Oz's brothers against her, which triggers her dementia. Sophia starts to realise she's not well and starts to feel some sympathy. Later, Rush comes in to tell Sophia that Gia may be another loose end that could implicate Sophia to the Falcone killings. Sophia tells Rush she'll deal with it, but instead help Francine. Sal drags Oz to the drug tunnels, telling everyone the Maronis and the Gigantes are in charge now. Oz taunts Sal with the death of his wife and son, in probably one of my favourite lines in the episode, leading to a fight breaking out between both gangs as well as Sal and Oz. During the fight, Sal starts to hold his arm, struggles to breathe, and falls down dead due to a heart attack. Oz taunts him, gloating that he beat him, despite a little bit of disappointment in his voice. Sal breathes his last breath. Even dead, Oz can't help but vent years of frustration he's had with this guy. He even ticks his pinky ring. The battle is done. Oz congratulates his men, but lets them know the war isn't over. Sophia visits her cousin to confront her on what she may or may not know. Turns out Gira has also been self-harming and says that she found the gas mask in Sophia's bag. Sophia is almost indulging in Oz lying to her and pretending to care for her. But then she does admit that she has killed her family and that they deserved it. She walks out nearly having a panic attack and nearly breaking down. And Sophia gets a call thinking it's Sal, but it turns out to be Oz, telling her Sal is dead and that he's happy to hand over the operation in exchange for his mum. Is Oz being honest, or is this another ploy she already knows? Later we see Rush helping Francine, and Sophia tells Rush Sal is dead and Oz has made the offer. Rush and Sophia are aware it's a trap and that she may be having second thoughts of being involved in this since she's already kind of doing what her father's done, which she not too happy about. But she still wants her vengeance against Oz. Later in the tunnels, Oz gets his men ready. A car that's supposed to have Sophia approaches, but it turns out to be empty, and he gets a call from Sophia telling him that she's not playing his game and that if he survives this, she's then to meet her at the Maroney's Club with Francine. Turns out there's a bomb in the car. It blows up, and Oz just manages to escape by the skin of his teeth. But his operation's all fucked up and done. We get a flashback of Oz with his mum, who's obviously grieving, but is willing to hide it and go out for a nice night on the town with her son. And she almost has a breakdown, telling Oz that please grow up and be someone who can offer her a happier life. Then Oz wakes up. He escapes the tunnels. It's everybody in the streets are all like, "Oh, fuck's sake, not again! Can we not get a fucking break here?" He comes across one of the crooked coppers, the drip-addicted copper from the previous episode, who then knocks Oz out and it looks like he's going to take him to Sophia Gigante. End of the episode. And man, talk about cranking it up a notch a little bit more, leading us to a very good build up to an epic conclusion, which I hope will happen next episode. So
yeah,
I will go through some of my thoughts pretty quickly. It has a few setbacks, but the performances are once again on point, especially from the younger actors of Francine and Oz, Emily Mead and Rada Allen. And I will say this, Rada Allen as a young Oz is fucking creepy. I mean, we really discovered just how much of a psychopath Oz really is at the moment. It's damn letting his brothers fucking die just because they embarrassed him or because they were getting just as much of attention as he was when he wanted it all. He's been fucked up since he was a kid. He really truly has. But we are starting to see a little bit of Sophia realizing that there are consequences to her actions, and she's kind of fucked up someone's life the way her dad did for hers. So we get a nice little moment there, which I really like. And once again, there are consequences to what is happening. I mean, it's not like fucking Rings of Power where people are just plodding along, just trying to get through the fucking episodes. No, there's everything that's happened in the episodes have been happening our consequence of what has happened earlier on, and I like it. It's all coming back. There's been setups that have led to some payoffs, and it's very fulfilling. But I am a little bit disappointed that Sal Maroni wasn't utilised a little bit better. I know his heart attack was hinted, but even before that, it just came across more like irrational heavy than someone who did used to be in control and be in charge. But apart from that, the performances are still fucking good. Oz is really good. I wish Vic was in it a bit more, but hopefully he gets to return his style next episode. So there is kind of one flaw with the plan with the car, and just before the car entered the Bliss operations room, the tunnel before it, he should have had men in that tunnel checking the car before he let that car move forward. But no, he just let the car move forward. He practically let himself get fucking had by Sophia, which was really fucking stupid on Oz's part. But I do love this interchange with Sophia and Francine. I mean, it's really good, and you can see she's got a lot of fucking baggage as well, even behind that tough exterior. And Sophia has obviously still got a humane side to her somewhere still, despite what's happened. I still hate that fucking haircut though. I'm sorry, I really do. It's really off putting, but that's my thoughts. Since
sure she has trouble getting.
It's been my regular co-host on this. I'll let you go first.
You want me to go first, or you want our guest?
Yeah, you go first. I'll talk to you.
Okay. Great episode. Very dark and disturbing. I was more disturbed by the stuff that he did as a child than anything that I could think of. I actually knew a kid who like something like that similar happened to as a kid growing up, where his siblings and or friends went in the storm drain and wound up dying, and he just didn't say anything about it. Although I believe that kid didn't turn out to be a Gotham crime boss as he got older. But I just the fact that, and I guess we'll talk about this more later on in the episode, is, you know, I do have questions about that particular scene, about its intent or lack thereof. But yeah, another great episode. We really are not liking Oz moving forward. Like, I'm not rooting for him at this point.
He's a horrible cunt. He really is.
And maybe that's to be expected. Colin Farrell, certainly, he got on social media and did say something to that effect. I can't say, though, that I am rooting for Sophia either, because, I mean, she's basically doomed this little girl. And I think she's like one step away from having her murdered, you know? How could you think that of me? Stuff that she says to the little girl.
I would never.
I would never.
Yeah, like, she's almost as bad as us there. She is.
Yeah. It's like, no, you literally did. Like, you literally condemned this girl, and you didn't just condemn this girl to 10 years like you condemned this girl to a lifetime. So, I mean, you'd have really been better off just killing her with the rest of the family. I really don't even know what you kept her alive for. So I guess we're supposed to feel some sort of sympathy pains for her because she has like a little panic attack afterwards. The conscience starts to get to her or something like that until Dr. Sons of Anarchy, like gives her a whole different perspective to look at. I'm not really sure. I will say that I really enjoy Oz in the scene when she calls thinking she's talking to Sal and she's talking to Oz instead. And he's just gives her the whole, he really knows how to play on a person's expectations and their weaknesses. He's like, hey, sweetheart, I get it. You're mad at me. Just kind of, okay, all right, as if he had like put a dent in the car or something like that, and not try to like betray her and murder her brother. So it's like, I did like that scene. I liked everything that led up to it, and I'm super excited to see. I really just hope they don't fumble it in the last episode. But I mean, at this point, man, with 8 weeks into this show, I can't sit there and wait for the other shoe to drop. You just got to kind of enjoy it for what it is, enjoy the acting, and it may not be a perfect season finale. It may not be a perfect series finale if they decide to go that way. But I can honestly say that I've been extremely happy with this show, and I'm extremely happy with this penultimate episode as it is.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Toxic. Is that it? Is there any more?
I mean, I'll answer whatever questions you have later as we talk about if you pick apart certain stuff or ask your usual questions. But I mean, that's my basic overview of the episode. It's a thankless job to do the episode before. I talked about this on Lance's The Shield stream the other day, which I think you guys were privy to as well, which is, the penultimate episode, the episode before the last episode is always difficult. And it puts everybody into the position that they need to be in for the climax. And it's sort of a thankless job. It's really, it's one of those things where if done incorrectly, leaves too many loose ends. But if you wrap up everything in a nice tight bow, then there's no point in like, you know, Luke, you're a Buffy fan like I am. So you think about season 4 with the Restless episode kind of following after Primeval. So everything was wrapped up and already done. So what was really, I mean, it's a beautiful episode, but it's almost like it didn't even belong in that series, in that season.
Yeah.
So but yeah. Hey Nadia, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing? Yes, Nix and Nadia in the chat. Thanks for joining us. And I mean, Nadia, if you want to jump on, you can. I'll send the link to you. It's in the chat anyway.
She may not want to step on her own.
Yeah. Well, because I'm sure you did it anyway. But it'd be good to have you on anyway. So it's good to have a few guests on, you know, to talk to. But since you've already finished yours, I'll move on to Blue Collar Loser. What do you think of this episode then?
Oh, fantastic! Especially the scenes between Sophia and Francis, because I'm sure I know Lord Toxic watched this, but when I watched the TV show Narcos on Netflix, and I was always fascinated by Pablo Escobar, what a fucking monster he was, and his mother, even up until his death, she was defending the shit out of her son, and she knew what kind of man Pablo was, but the mother's love and the scene with Francis and Sophia were just like, she's talking to Sophia like, yeah, you know, I know what my son is, and he's gonna put a fucking bullet in your head, and she's like, it's like she's defending her son so much right there, like, you know, Oz told me right there, just this dialogue right there with Francis, like how she's defending Oz despite she knows what kind of fucking man he is. And she's just like, she's not intimidated by Sophia whatsoever. Everyone else in the show is scared of Sophia. Francis is not, because she's just like giving it to her. But like, even the lines like, you give me toast, you're gonna kill me. And look at that. Like, you know, Oswald in this house, but like, man, just the back and forth. Oz tells you a lot, but and like Francis is just like digging to Sophia so fucking well, man. It's like, look, he was watching and studying. He was studying. He's always 10 steps ahead of you all. And but I know that smile. It's like once my son puts a bullet in that pretty little skull of yours, I'm like, oh shit, she's giving it to her.
She definitely ended her whole career right there, as the kids like to say. Yeah, it was crazy.
And it was kind of like what you're saying like earlier about possibly a character redemption, because number one, Sophia finally sees where Francis is having a mental breakdown. Like, man, this woman is like, do you know where you're at right now? Like, she doesn't realize her dementia. But after her full panic attack, and then you figure she's telling Hush there, it's like, or Rush, what his name is, that you know, like, maybe am I just as bad as my father? It's almost like maybe after seeing what you're doing to this woman, and this innocent woman in a sense, and plus this little girl that you almost thought about killing, maybe you're just as bad as your fucking father. So out of her and Oz, there could be a redemption arc, because Oz is obviously way beyond redeeming. So Sophia, you have a sense that there's some semblance of like humanity left, where it's like, you thought about killing an innocent girl. Maybe you're fucked up. Maybe you could change. She's not gonna, but I did. There's something there, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a good little thing. Like, we're seeing her really go down this dark path now, and it's almost consuming you. But welcome, Nadia. Thanks for joining us, and your thoughts on this episode. I mean, I've not caught your stream yet, so
I didn't have my stream on this episode, unfortunately, this week. I had an emergency, so we're actually going to cover this part of this episode and then the finale next week. But I actually really enjoyed this episode because it slowed everything down for me and gave us a little bit more into character development. I thought it was an interesting background story for Oz. I've not read Batman, so I don't know the Penguin's character history in the comics.
Well, it seems like they're taking it a bit more loosely here to the comics.
Yeah, I don't think this is canon. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's canon either. But the fact that this show does such a good job of making you sympathize with him in certain scenes, and then reminding you that he's just a bastard. The entire time. Yeah.
Especially I think that's your point. I don't think Colin Farrell is playing him as a villain. He's just playing him as a guy. That's it. He's offering no judgment on his character. He's just playing the part as realistic and as humane as he can, even when he does do inhumane things.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Blue.
So I wanted to ask actually all three of you guys, did you notice this? I'm sure Wes did as a writer. So right here, this scene, right? This is where he basically kills his little brothers, and later on, that same fucking
where he saves himself. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm glad you brought that.
I have a question about this though. Do you think he purposely meant to kill them, or just did that out of spite, thinking that, they'll figure out a way out, and then it just so happened to work in his favor that they died?
I have my thoughts on it, but I was going to wait until Luke asked the question because he usually likes to ask the question, like stuff like that near the end of the episodes when we do it. But I mean, I don't know. It's your show, Luke. I don't know how you
I
want
was
to
just
do it.
checking on the chat. So, what's the question again? Sorry.
When he locked his brothers in the opening, did he meant to do that as to kill them, or just to do that out of spite because he was being picked on? Like, he didn't actually intend to kill them. That just worked out in his favor in the long run.
Yeah. Who knows? I think it might have been a last minute thing, but he could have been kind of unconsciously thinking it his whole life, because you see the look on his face when his mum when Francine turns her attention to them. I mean, he's like, I'm their fucking boy. I'm the one that should be getting the attention here. You know, why is she spending time with these instead of just me? It's like there's something very petty about it. Yeah.
I think. I mean, one, it's a great poll question for sure. I think it's one of those things where, as a little boy, he probably didn't realize, that's how people get shot by accident. When their kids get a hold of guns because they don't realize the scope of what they've done. I think he probably thought that the older brother might figure out a way to get out of that. And as the water started getting worse, I think he made a judgment call in his mind. I think he was like, you know what? This is going to have consequences. They're probably not going to make it out of this, but because really at that point, the only other thing that could have happened is the kids did get out of there, and then what is he going to say? So I think at a certain point it was too far gone, and especially with the fact that he lied to say that they were at a movie that he knew very well they were not at. So I think that's what damns him. Also, if you look at it from the broader sense, which I'm sure you guys have, or at least to some degree you've thought about, if you look at it from a broader sense, that's a learned behavior that he does later on, because in episode 4 or 5, he leaves Sophia to die. And he makes that judgment call instantly. Like, there's no question about it. So this is obviously something that he learns as a young man to do, and he has no problem doing, and he keeps doing. So that speaks to me that he probably didn't intend at first when he shut that door. I don't think he realized what was going to happen. But I think as time grew on and the kids didn't show up and the mom was getting more and more upset and worried, I think that he just was like, you know what? I think this is going to work. I think this is going to work out just fine.
Yeah,
oops, sorry. Go
ahead. Yeah, because you did see him smile when you saw the jar of the dead flowers overflowing. I mean, it's yes, I kind of do agree with Toxic there. I mean, there was many hints that were done visually with no exposition spouting or no dialogue whatsoever. It was all in the face of the kid Rada. I think I mentioned his name earlier. His first name's Rada. And yeah, One Punch Tolkien fan. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I don't think I've had you in the chat before, but if this is your first time, welcome. Mr. E, thanks for joining us.
What were you saying, Nadia?
I slightly agree with you, Toxic, but there's a difference between siblings and being someone's driver over the years. So I can't personally see the connection of leaving Sophia, because at the end of the day, that's a benefit for him in the long run as an adult. As siblings, though, I mean, I'm the oldest of 8. I mean, at some point I tried to kill my sister on accident when I was little. Tried to knock her into a table because I didn't want her around.
Nadia, allegedly, Nadia. Come on.
Allegedly.
See, Nadia forgot to say she used to be the oldest of 9 siblings.
Yeah.
Right. Nadia's like, I used to be.
My sister right after me is 13 months younger. So didn't want her
doing?
around. So would, children act a certain way when there's sibling rivalry, especially with trying to get the attention of his mother with no father in the house. But
wouldn't you agree that there's an argument to be made that the flashback scene we see with prior to going to Arkham, Sophia, her and Oz were sort of almost siblings a little bit, like they're a brotherly,
can't agree with that.
Sisterly. You can't? No?
I cannot, because as this series has progressed, we have seen that Oz only looks out for Oz. So for him to act like a brother to Sophia in any sort of is just for his benefit. Similar if you go back to the first episode where he told Victor, I make myself look small so the big guys feel like they're bigger, and that show. So I really don't think he actually has that type of relationship with Sophia. I think it's just to his benefit.
Well, I agree with that. I see. Now I agree with that, but I think that you could extend that and say that that's the same behavior that he showed towards his actual siblings. I think he did make himself seem small with these kids, and I think he did. So I actually, I think we're kind of saying the same thing. I think we're just kind of looking at it from different angles. I think he treated his brothers the same way that he acts and treats his superiors, or his betters, for lack of a better word, in the mafia world. So I think it was kind of the same thing, and I definitely think it was the same decision that was made, or at least the same type.
Can you go back, Luke, for 1 second? I love this shot. Sorry, I don't mean to trail off, but this is so well lit to me.
I was going to tell you guys another thing too, Luke, but with the show having like lack of CG, like that's why I kept purposely certain stills. Like you look at, the set design, like right here. It feels so authentic. This show, and like especially like spots right there. Like you see like the little Dare sign right here in the background, like the train, like the guy right here, and just there's so much detail. Like even having like we all remember box TVs. Like look at the box TV with the little 3. I remember that as a kid, and the bunny ears.
I love that bunny ears too. As well. The guy in the top hat using his cane to take down his backing dancers. Because if you read the comics, the Penguin obviously does shit like that with his umbrella and sometimes cane. It's and I love that little nice little contrast to him there.
Well, and also to like Nadia was saying, what I kept this for is like just whoever built these sets, like look, the cars, the decrepit cars in the background here, this over the zoo, just this entire shot. Like this is not digital. Like this is a set design. Like,
to detail.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was in Detroit because this actually looks better than Detroit, but wherever they filmed
Canada.
this, there's so much detail into the sets on this show. The show feels so authentic.
I will say, HBO still doesn't know how to light their nights at certain points. For most of their shows. But when I saw that shot, I had to pause it because of for me, 2 things really matter when I look at movies and TV shows is how well they light things and their color palettes. How well everything, because color can tell a story as well or add to the level of story when for movies and stuff. And this is just so well done, especially in that shot. I had to take a photo of it. Can you send me that still? That'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. I'll send you on Facebook.
But I know what you mean, because I think Enzo was on about this because they've got these new cameras that can sort of light up a dark area, but they don't seem to work as well as an older camera when you have actual lights on in the studio. If I'm being correct. Yeah.
It's very hard. House of Dragon or whatever.
And Shogun as well. Shogun was fucking bad for night shots, especially when it came to the fight scenes.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, come on, HBO, learn to light your stuff, please. Learn to light nights, please.
Put some fucking actual lights in the studio.
Yeah.
Just do that. Do that.
Right there. That's the best shot of the episode, obviously. But man.
Oh yeah, that's fucking brilliant. And I think that is probably CGI, but it looks good. It looks good. I've seen worse.
Maybe you guys will look for something about when the bomb went off. I don't know why. Look at the way I thought Batman. I'm not sure why. Just the way that looks.
Yeah, it's the color with the trench coat.
Yeah,
there's no way Batman doesn't show up in the last episode after that. You're telling me he's ignoring the fact that his intersection completely imploded in itself and he's not going to show up?
It's hard to say with Bruce because people could headcanon that Gotham's so big that Bruce is so busy that he could be doing other things with the Joker or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Every time Batman sees the bat signal, he's thinking, can't people just take the law into their own hands?
Like I was saying, the scenes with like young Francis' mother, just imagine being like, a 12-year-old kid right now and just like, son, when you get older, it's your job to take care of me. You need to make something to yourself. You have to give me everything I deserve. Like, all right, Mom, sorry.
But that's a cultural thing with Italians, Middle Easterns. It's the same way, the relationship between sons and mothers. It's kind of a known that, especially if you are either the only son or you're the oldest son, you take care of your parents, and especially you take care of your mother. I mean, my dad who was head of my family, took care of my grandmother up until the day she died. Like she lived with us, took care of her, anything she ever needed. But a cultural thing so much in like Italians, Arabs, Mexican, like that. White people don't understand.
Whoa, that's not true.
I'm just joking. I'm just
That's kind of
joking.
racist, yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
I'm Irish, and I can remember that my mom didn't get me my Hot Wheels Ghostbuster track that I wanted when I was 12, and I can say for sure I remembered that. And then just a couple years ago, she needed a kidney, and I said, "Well, enjoy dialysis," because I didn't get that Hot Wheels, and I told you that bill was gonna come, Linda. So
when
you just
for Christmas, I got a PlayStation. I only got 5 games. I should have got 6.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
I mean, I'm the oldest, and I'm a girl. My dad spoiled me. I got whatever I wanted. So there you go. This I know a lot of people, from what I picked up, did not like this episode as much as the other ones. They've rated it pretty low, but I honestly think it's mostly because it's the episode before the finale, right? So what setup have they set up? They've obviously set up.
What word is that? What word is that, guys?
Pen.
You know you want to say it.
Pen.
Penultimate.
What?
The episode before the season finale is always called the penultimate episode.
You're acting like you invented the fucking word.
Well, I just noticed once I started saying it on Lance's stream that I start hearing it
like,
on all these other
I'm not saying invented it. I'm just saying, like, none of you knew about it.
None of you was as classy as I was to know this word, this word that I learned.
I'm learning new English all the time, apparently.
I'm shocked to hear Nadia say it, because like I said, for me, the best scene just these two, just Sophia.
I think it's great.
I mean, the back and forth between mother and Sophia, and just like we talked about before we came on, Nadia, it's just Francis just fucking dissects her so well. Man,
Francis lays into her so
I'm like,
hard.
how could someone rate this low? Like, fuck.
You feel sorry for her though as well. I mean, her mind is just fucking gone, and she does play it really well though. She really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the little hand trimmer that she had right.
Yeah, you start seeing this. Yeah.
Right before she loses it, and I love Sophia's reaction. It's not necessarily altruism, and it's not necessarily concern. I think it just kind of comes off as curiosity.
Yeah,
I think she's just like she was looking at a bug who's just lost a leg. It's just she was kind of looking at like, do you know where you are right now, Francis? Like, do you know what's happening right now? Because I mean, how are you going to torture and threaten somebody if they don't even know where they are?
Yeah,
that's not going to work.
Exactly.
I also took it as, because she's been deceived by Oz so much. Is this just something to deceive her?
I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
Like, is this just some way just to kind of prolong to keeping herself alive? Is this a trick? So that I feel like obviously her guard is up on it, but that's how I perceived it, because she's been screwed over by Oz so much.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. But you kind of do see that she's had this little axe built up in her head as well, and then this whole dementia thing happens, and it really does knock her back. She's like, she has no idea what to think of it, but yeah, we can really see that Sophia is being really consumed by trying to get the better of the people who betrayed her, including Oz, and you can see there's a little parts of it though that's kind of bothering her as well, because she is still starting to see the consequences of what is happening. In fact, a lot of the stuff that has happened earlier is really starting to come back on these characters now, and I think this is why the show is still very well written and well handled, even though it has had its problems in a few episodes, but it's still going. It's still very solid.
Yeah, I have no complaints. 0 complaints.
I don't either. I think this is a great episode. I think the only worry I have is with the finale that we are going to get another cliffhanger that will require you to watch the Batman 2. I'm hoping that this is kind of a one and done, and then they'll just take these characters.
I think that's a given.
Yeah,
I think that's a given.
I hate doing homework.
Yeah.
I hate telling people
for a second series, but I really hope not. No, this is just one series. That's it.
Yeah.
Look, I'll just do 6 seconds, because you can show 6 seconds as I rewatches, but I put the scene right there just to see her acting. the part.
Okay.
Where,
Yeah, I agree, Mystery, because she has kind of just been just as bad as her fucking father, maybe worse in some way, like Toxic said. She's condemned this little girl to a very fucking shitty life forever, and not just 10 years.
Are you playing the clip or do you?
we know it's ready for Luke. If you want to hit the, you gotta hit the thing.
Okay, give me a
Wait,
warning so
wait.
I don't run my mouth.
Yeah, it must have
Yeah.
come off.
That's it. It's just remember, if we show a couple seconds, they won't fuck to be just right here, like her mannerisms, like
Driving you around, cleaning up after you and your family. He was watching, studying. He knows this game better than you.
yeah.
I
I want to show too much more, but just say that entire that whole 5 minute scene, man, just her, and she's digging into her.
I like Sophia's reaction to it. Like, yeah, really, bitch? Yeah. Is that because what happens when you have an interrogation is threats or misinformation or anything that's said can and will be used against you in an interrogation. And somebody as smart and as gifted, not only is Sophia smart in the way that a lot of people are not smart, but she also has a strange gift, as it was stated in one of the first 2 episodes, is sniffing out people's bullshit. So she's not only been trained to deal with these kind of things, both with her institution and, to a lesser degree, the doctors and things like that. She probably read, how it goes, Blue, people with that much time on their hands, she probably read a bunch of books inside, Arkham, and learned a little bit more with that. And then you add into that natural amount of, craziness. She's willing to do anything in an interrogation. So she's, the best thing that you can do if you're being interrogated is just to clam up and not say anything, because even lies and bullshits and misdirections, even that gives stuff away. It gives things away to the person who is a trained interrogator. And so I like that look where she gives her like, oh, really? And then the fact that she learns about the fate of the brothers, she realizes this might be something I can use against Oz if I need it. And now how she'll use it, I don't know. But I mean, it's all just good information for her to figure out a different way to get at Francis's son.
Yeah, I mean, Sophia definitely at this entire season, you could say that she has the most sympathetic arc character, because she was just a daddy's girl, a spoiled rich girl. She didn't know what was really going on with the crime syndication, but she wasn't a part of it. Then her own father sets her up for fucking killing 20 people. They stick her in a insane asylum for 10 years. They're torturing her, electroshock therapy. They're putting her in stirrups. Like, you've been locked away. I have too. And compared to what she went through in prison, we had TVs, we had the yard, we had books and stuff. And Arkham seemed like worse than hell for 10 years. That shit, you wonder why she's all batshit crazy.
Well, yeah, because I mean, unlike most gal bosses that were just always perfect and always knew best, we actually learn how she became this way. We are giving context.
Because it's like Oz. I mean, we've seen, okay, here he just killed his brothers. Okay, but what was the reason? It's like, it's not like Oz was beaten or he was sexually abused or something or had like a bad childhood. He just fucked up in the head. Sophia, at least, like she was turned into this monster. Oz was always a monster.
Agreed. Good analysis. Yeah, good analysis. Yeah.
And yet we are still forced to kind of sympathize with him a little. And it doesn't feel forced either, mate. It feels well executed.
So I think Oz we sympathize because he's pathetic in the sense that, look, he's got a bum leg, and obviously with the makeup job, he's ugly as fuck, and he's not that intelligent. He's cunning, but not really intelligent. And you sympathize because he is what he is. If Oz was like good looking, you wouldn't sympathize with him.
Interesting, Blue. I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
I think that's true, but I also think that we root for an underdog. I think that everything's against him, and I think we all, it's like that movie Nightcrawler where Jake Gyllenhaal's like he's just a total sociopath. He's just unredeemable in every single way. But yet you find yourself rooting for him just because you like to see somebody in these, with all the odds stacked against them, getting by on their ingenuity and, however it is, their machinations, however they figure out how to get through any given situation. I think it's in our nature to kind of root for the underdog, regardless of what morality, they may or may not have. I mean, look, we had Tony Soprano for 6 seasons, 7 seasons, whatever that was. I mean, he's just a total piece of shit. He was not redeemable at all. And yet people found themselves rooting for him. You know,
Well, he
Is
did
it-
have, because he still had moments of humanity, because there were worse people in The Sopranos than him. Like
Yeah.
when Ralphie beats up that fucking stripper who's pregnant with his baby, and you could see
Mhm.
Tony Soprano is really fucking heartbroken about this. He's really disgusted by Ralphie about it. It's so he's kind of like the best out of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
But wouldn't the underdog be more so Sophia, not so much Oz in this?
I would
Because-
say
She's
so.
kind of no, isn't she? Because
Yeah.
she was kind of shunned by her own family, and she's driven to insanity, and people think she's just a spoilt fucking guinea brat who's a bit mental, but she's really proved them wrong time and time again now, because she grew up with that family. She knows what they do. She knows their
Yeah.
flaws now, and she's exploiting it.
Well, aside from the Arkham situation that her dad put her through, right? What was her the worst thing that was going to happen to her this season? They were going to ship her off to a villa in Italy. So I mean, I
Sure.
don't know that I can really get behind. I don't think anybody here on this panel, or pretty much anybody that we know, could relate to Sophia. You know, we've never been born privileged with a silver spoon in our mouth.
Mm.
I mean, you know, we've never been in a situation where one of our worst punishments would be live the life of luxury out in, you know, the home country or something like that. Whereas Oz, I mean, he's one mistake away from, you know, being on the street. You know, it's not like he served in the military and he could get VA benefits. It's like he's been a cripple, he's been ugly, he's been fat, and you know, all of the stuff that he's gotten because he's been able to like force his will upon the world and make these things. He's not the smartest guy, he's certainly not the best looking guy, he's not physically capable in a lot of ways, and yet he's able to overcome these odds and become this thing. And I think to a certain degree, everybody who watches that wants to think that like maybe I could do that. Maybe I, you know, maybe they don't want to do the things that he's done in order to get there. But I think we all like to think that we could overcome so many of those odds. Really, the only thing that Sophia had to deal with, and I'm not shitting on it because it's definitely impressive, was the whole situation with Arkham.
True.
You know, she was put in that situation against her will, and she did overcome it, and it's very. But I mean, she still, like, she got out and she was rich. Like when she got out, she didn't like go to a halfway house and have to like build an empire on the streets. Like she went to go live in a mansion and had, you know, millions of dollars.
But she also found her mother, you know, gone, and then also found out that her father did that as well. I can understand the point of the financial benefits that she has and been raised with, but I don't think it matters with the mental abuse that and craziness that she's had to deal with being the black sheep of the family, and then having her father backstab her and turn, you know, not be the father that she wishes he was. I just
No,
I don't
you're
know
not wrong. No, you're not wrong, and I get what you're.
Let's not forget these people who did betray it are fucking getting away with it. So, of course,
certainly
wanted to get revenge on them.
Yeah, no, but I see what you're saying on the West, because it's the point that like Penguin, even though he's an asshole, you feel like he's still one of us, because he's still, you know, he's a low citizen. He's poor. He's kind of said not that smart, not that good looking. He's just she's a spoiled rich kid. Nobody here in this panel, I'd say the vast majority of people watching the show, nobody can relate to a spoiled rich kid.
Right. And it's not, you know, I mean, I love Sophia's character, and she's definitely overcome a lot. I don't know that I could classify her as an underdog, because I mean, if she'd have just done what she was supposed to and learned how to cook and clean and stayed in her lane, as most women should, then she would have been fine. You know, I mean, so it was her wanting it's her wanting to do charity. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, she wanted to do charities and get involved. She didn't want to be a gangster, but she definitely was doing things. You know,
I counter that with the fact that her father set her up for that. Because remember the conversation of granted, I think it was a test, like Gooch mentioned in one of my streams. He wanted to set her up to take lead for the family. So it's not like she could have avoided just being in the kitchen and, you know, making sandwiches. She also had the pressure of her father setting her up to take the next step.
Well, yeah, but her father was crazy, you know, and he was killing women. I mean, it's obvious that he wasn't a great judge. And at the end of the day, it's a woman's responsibility to know her place and say, listen, I don't need to get out of the kitchen. I don't need to be president. I don't need to, it's like I'm here for babies and to look pretty and to be on my man's arm. Had she stayed in her lane and knew her place, none of that stuff would have happened to her. And and hey, I love it. I love it for her. But I mean, you really you did it to yourself because you stepped outside of what you were supposed to be doing. So I mean,
how dare you think for yourself?
Exactly.
You should have killed that reporter for your dad and gone to live a life of ignorance. You should have done.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Like Sophia has daddy issues and Oz has mommy issues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Oz has a little bit of daddy issues too, to be honest, with not having a dad in the house and how much he looks up to the gangsters when he was younger, which I have a suspicion one of them is his father.
Wait, but you figure, but he's only looking up to the gangsters because he has this subconscious pressure to make his mother something she's not. Because she's
not only that, not only that though. The reason why you would have a kid like him, he knows he's never going to play sports. He knows he's never going to be an actor. He knows he's never going to be a race car driver with that foot. So, but a kid like that knows he could be a gangster. He could be a gangster. You don't need to have athlete. You just need to have smarts and will and in a willingness to step outside societal norms and be a little bit clever and a lot lucky. So that's something that a kid with a club foot could pull off. He could be a gangster.
Also, the pressure of taking care of his mother came after he decided to KO his brothers. Technically, if his brothers were still alive, it would be the responsibility of his oldest brother to take care of the mother. So he wouldn't have that responsibility if he had not done that to his brothers.
So you're definitely of the opinion that he offed them. That's definitely your opinion.
I'm of the opinion that in the heat of the moment, as somebody who has siblings, things can go awry, especially if if it's 2 versus 1. So I don't think he intentionally meant to kill them. I think he thought maybe they would get out in some way. But I think once realizing that they weren't coming home, he just used it to his advantage.
Okay.
Or not even to his advantage, because he's a child. Maybe just lie just to make sure he's not the one blamed for it, right?
Yeah, you guys will call it Bassell, but to his credit, Clancy Brown, guy's older, but he's still a big fucking dude.
Still would.
Clancy, because I like the fact I wouldn't say easily, but he's damn sure overpowering Oz. Clancy Brown's
Nadia, would you really though?
I love Clancy Brown.
What if in the heat of the moment? What if in the heat of the moment his voice reminded you of Mr. Crab or whatever his name is from SpongeBob?
I know him from Carnival, HBO's Carnival and Pet Sematary. So I've never watched an episode of SpongeBob, so I don't know him. So yeah.
What's weird is I see Clancy Brown's 6'3" and Colin Farrell's 5'10", but Clancy Brown he has the presence of a guy who's like 6'5", 6'6". He just seems like this big over.
Yeah, he's the Kurgan.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you watch the 2 seasons of Carnival if you haven't, Blue. His presence in that is so good. He plays a priest in it. Well, a preacher.
Shows.
I do wish he was utilised a bit better because he really let us push his fucking buttons here. I mean, he really gave into it. So he's
about your kids and your wife there. The smell of burnt hair, and she's burning alive.
Yeah, that's my favourite line. I mean, once I get there, I'll probably won't say, man, because that is such a fucking cruel line to say to someone, especially when you're burning them to fucking death, burn their fucking family to death with it. It's he went up like a fucking tinderbox. I love it.
Well, she used a little bit too much hairspray. I think that's what happened over there. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Colin Farrell's accent is disturbingly good for a guy who's like Irish.
Yeah, well, a lot of mobsters were Irish, though. Even in the mafia, they just were made men.
Put a second for you.
And I think we've got our thoughts on this episode. There's anything else anyone else wants to say about it?
I don't want to see the Batman. I don't either.
I don't either. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I do have to dip back to work. But
Okay.
thank you for having me on for a little
Yeah,
bit to
of course,
talk
Nadia.
about.
Glad you're feeling
We usually
better.
have other questions, but if you want to answer them in the comments later, you can do. It's like favorite character, favorite lad, and your final rating, and that's it. That's it. Just put it in the comments later once you get time. That'll be fine.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Nadia.
Take it easy,
Bye.
Nadia.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we're on to favourite character, and I think, to be honest, it's got to be yours. I know he's a fucking piece of shit, though, and Sophia comes a close second, but
Which
maybe
version?
Francine a third, but
Adult Oz or Kid Oz?
I think I'll say both. Because Kid Oz is fucking scary, man. I mean, the fact that he's... Yeah, when you looked at that jar that was overflowing and he smiled, you know, that's full on fucking disturbing. So, and Adult Oz, yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's a fucking piece of shit, and yet you still kind of want him to win a little bit as well, even though Sophia probably should. But it's very ambiguous. It's very ambiguous. It does have a very dodgy moral compass, but that's what makes this show good. It's these aren't good people. These are terrible people. We're just on the opposite sides of the law.
Yeah, I pulled up the scene for you, Luke, with Oz.
Yeah.
Can't forget the
So
smell.
that's my favorite character, and yours, Toxic.
I'm gonna go with Francis on this. You mean for this episode, right?
This episode, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Francis. Both
Okay,
both the,
yes, she does it real good.
the 80s version of Francis and the current day Francis. Yeah, I like how she was a good single mom. I don't really like that single mom trope in media, but I think she did very well with it. She obviously loved her kids and did her very, very best to take care of them. She maybe kind of spoiled Oz a little bit too much, but
She obviously did.
I think it would not be. I think it would not be far off to assume that maybe the two older boys or the two other boys have one father, and Calabrese is Oz's father, since they don't look anything alike, and she treats them differently. But I do like how she treated her kids. She did not seem neglectful. She didn't seem. I've been waiting this whole season for her to like show some horrible colors, but I think she was just giving it everything that she could give, and was, just did the very best that she could to be a good mom. That's where I come away from it. And then, she just ended fucking Sophia's career, like she's the captured one, and she's just laying into Sophia.
Yeah, no, she fucking kills it, because we've kind of just been seeing her as this poor old woman whose mental health is just fucking declining, but she has some fire in her still. She still does. I love that. I'll give credit to the actress who plays a young version of her. She does it really well, and I know a couple of single mothers, and she does come across, and they do actually act like that the way she is, and except the talk in a Yorkshire accent where I'm from, but she gets it right. I know single mothers who are a lot like her in a way. Thankfully, their sons, well, some of their sons aren't psychopaths, but who knows? So yeah, blue collar favorite character.
No, same with Wes. I mean, the scene with Sophia and Francis. Francis didn't get the most airtime, but that one scene was my favorite scene in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, favorite character.
Same, yeah, Francis. I mean, everything. I couldn't disagree with anything he said.
Okay, and now we're on to favorite lad, and she must have used a lot of hairspray because she went up like a fucking tinderbox.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned that because it's such. I mean, pardon the pun, but it's a fucking one hell of a burn. It is. It really is.
Damn.
I pulled it up for you so you can play it.
All right, so we can get up. I hope I don't get flagged. If I do, fuck it.
That's a couple seconds. I'll just play this for you. There you go.
I'll never forget. Sal, it's a smell. Burning flesh. No muscle, fat, shit.
There you go.
Smell of hair. I didn't anticipate that.
Yeah, I won't play anymore, but yeah. I say as long as we get 5-6 seconds, they shouldn't mess you up.
Yeah, so yeah, favorite line, Toxic.
Oh boy. It's sort of a non sequitur exactly, but You know, I really liked the delivery and the look on her face when Sophia asks the mom, where do you think you are right now? Like, I really like that. And I like what's behind it. I like what's behind this, the question, what's behind her eyes when she says the question. I like the whole thing.
Yeah, that's kind of hit a point as well about this, because rarely do we see anything that comes out in modern day where you're really fascinated by the way a character says something, and if it actually means something else than what it could be. You know, like giving us a bit of subtext behind the acting and the line deliveries. We got that a lot with older movies, but we rarely get that with anything today. And the Penguin is really delivering on that. Even though we've complained a few times about the plot holes, it's we still get that quality of writing that we've seen in the older stuff. So, yeah. So you said the favorite line, blue collar.
Just for Francis, because it's so small and subtle. But when Sophia's making the toast, she's like, "Are you gonna give me toast? Or you're gonna kill me." Just what she just says it, like, just calls her on a bullshit. She's like, "No, are you here to feed me toast? Or you're gonna kill me?" Just so matter of fact. Like, I don't know why. Because like,
God bless Deirdre O'Connor.
It sets up the scene where she's like, "I'm not scared of you." It's like, yeah, it's like either fuck feed me, kill me, but just do what you gotta do, lady. Like, I'm not scared of you. We're here.
Yeah, she's really good. I mean, I hope she gets some kind of nomination for a small role, even though I preferred Sophia to get the nomination or win. But yeah, fucking, we are getting a little bit more with Francine, and yet she's really fucking killing it, despite the fact she has to play this old woman whose mind is going, and yeah, that's cannot be an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And she probably is the most sympathetic character in the show in comparison. I mean, no, she really is the most sympathetic character, really. Even though she probably might have had a hand in Oz being a little bit the way he is as well, in a way, but but yeah. And I think I move on. I don't think there's anything else we can go on about now. Maybe just final thoughts. And yeah, it picks up a lot where the other episodes have left off. It's really starting to show us some payoff from all the setups that we're getting. We're seeing consequences of what's happened, and it's the episode and the series just keeps going. It's not dragging or anything. It maybe that flashback episode might have slowed things down, but it really is progressing. It's and I really am looking forward to that next episode, that very final episode, and I really hope it's at least a decent final and not disappointing. So yeah, and final rating is I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10, despite that little plot hole where Oz kind of lets Sophia get the better of him in the tunnels. It's still a really fucking solid episode. So yeah, a lot of toxicity. Final thoughts on your ratings?
Yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I was captivated through the whole thing. I wasn't looking at my phone. I loved all the performances. Everybody did everything that they were supposed to, fired off on all cylinders. It's definitely a good push before the season finale. I am a little apprehensive that they may or may not drop the ball. I don't want to see Batman back. I'd like this just to stay self-contained. I hope that they don't leave it as a spoiler, although I'm reminded that they did a season finale in '98 of the X-Files TV show that led into the film, and you didn't have to watch
I remember that
show in order to understand or enjoy the movie. So maybe they'll go that route. But then again, we live in the age of the MCU where you have to do homework for every single movie that you watch and things like that. So but yeah, I'm extremely happy with it. I guess I'm more happy that we've gotten this far and the ball wasn't dropped like True Detective season 4. Because I'm not gonna lie, if you go to my earlier reviews, as we've done this the last couple months, with the exception of the episode I missed while I was in Florida, I have been waiting for that other shoe to drop, and I'm very, very happy to say it has not. So even if the worst thing does happen and the next episode is not what I want it to be, I'm still, the overall package of this is extremely satisfying to me.
Yeah, thank you, Toxic. And yet, Sarah's got 5 out of 10 by ING. What the fuck? Fuck ING.
Do you mean IGN?
Yeah, fuck them in the ear. Fuck them in the other ear. Did they ever drop? Did they ever get a line? Did they ever drop?
Yeah,
Yo,
IGN's funny. IGN will give like
yeah. You tell those guys that Oz don't care nothing about them, and we'll set their wives on fire.
Yeah.
Right in front of them.
They'll do shit like give Star Wars Outlaws like a 9 and like Black Myth Wukong like a 5, and you're like Black Myth Wukong broke every fucking video game record in 2024. But give the shitty Star Wars game all the high reviews, right? Like
yeah, fuck him in the ear, fuck him in the other ear. Did I ever
get
out of line? Did he ever drop the dime on Jimmy? Did he ever bust his balls? Fuck yeah. We'll call those.
It's hard giving 10s. I mean, for I'd say a very, very solid 9 for me. I mean, that's because 10s are always like, man, these kind of shows you want to give them all 10s, but a good 9s for me. And yeah, nothing bad to say about it. And I was wondering if you guys noticed this as well. As the black truck is showing up, and I'm thinking to myself that, Sophia, if you really want to kill Oz, right? Like, I thought at first that Francis would be in the back seat and like, hey, I killed your mother to fuck with you. I'm telling myself that, well, you kind of got him. He's off guard. Wouldn't it be pretty kind of cool or smart or like vindictive to put a bomb in the back of the fucking car? And as it's happening, I'm like, oh shit, she thought about the thing I was just thinking of. Like,
but I don't think that she wanted to kill him. I think she left it so that he could escape. I mean, she even says it. She's like, if you make it out of this, I think she's okay either way. Like if it killed him,
but we made it next.
This
just sent some. Wait, carry on, Toxic, and I'll show you in a minute.
It's okay. I think that if he had died from the explosion, I think she'd have been okay with it. But I think she wants to have some kind of final up close and personal confrontation.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole setup, I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be a good way to get Oz, like, to catch him off guard is by having his dead mother in the background, or better yet, have a bomb in the background. She did, like you said, she gave him a good like 20-second window to gather because she wants to like have that closure and gloat in front of him. But it's just still like the fact that she was the thing happened. I was wondering, I'm like, man, wouldn't it be pretty cool to fucking like have some C4 in the back? And as soon as the fucking driver starts running, sprinting, I'm like, oh shit.
So yeah, here's the meme Nick sent. Get it up. So yeah, keep calling me Penguin, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, I'm thinking I'm the Penguin. Yeah, thanks for that, Nick. Thank you, and thanks for joining us, Easy Lemon Squeezy. And
you're saying, Nick, it's a hard sell because like people like Wes or anybody else would say not having Batman in the show, I can understand that. However, they still are in the Batman universe. In fact, this will tie into Batman too. So I guess it would be okay not showing him because you could say Gotham is so fucking big, and Penguin, like right now, Bruce has got so much going on. This is like small potatoes compared to the bigger shit. After what Riddler just destroyed half the city, Joker was teased in the behind the scenes footage. Suppose Mr. Freeze may be in Batman too, but like he's got so much going on that like this is he's got too much to worry about. Plus, right now Penguin's not doing nothing on Bruce's radar. Like most of his stuff right now is going on underground. This is just mob boss shit. Batman has got so much more important shit. Joker blowing up orphanages or something. This is not on his radar of like high value stuff at the moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Once Punch Man has just mentioned that. Yeah, I watched H's episode because he didn't like Maroni's heart attack fight, but the previous episode, I think I was a little bit disappointed, but it has actually hinted on it in the previous episodes. I mean, like when he escapes from jail, he's rubbing his chest. I mean, the guy looks like he's about to keel over. But
I think it works in the narrative just for the fact that he denies Oz his actual come up and for Sal.
Oz was pissed. Remember Oz was, he's like, you're supposed to beat me. Supposed to beat me. Oz, come on. What's going on? And once Sal's having his heart attack, Oz was upset. He's like, well, what's happened? What's happening? He's shaking him. He's like, motherfucker. because Oz
obviously
wanted to beat
real
him.
Animosity, hasn't he, towards Sal Maroni, and the fact that he just fucking dies of a heart attack is like, you can tell he expected more. He expected more from his little petty vengeance.
Because if you notice too, like when fucking Oz, once Sal's dead, Oz shoots him 6 times in the chest, just like a final fuck you because he could at the end of the day, because he's like, I wanted to be the one to beat you, Sal, and he didn't beat him. The fucking heart attack robbed Oz of his friggin' his victory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
like Mr. E said, Batman's taking on supervillains. This is police level shit.
Yeah, no. So I think we've given our final thoughts and ratings, and this is still a very solid show, and I'm so fucking glad. Like you said, it hasn't dropped the ball, and I was really, really expecting it to after maybe season 5 because that's when it usually happens. But we're not getting there. So yeah, I think we'll end it there. Easy lemon squeezy. Well, War Joe, One Punch, One Talking Fan. Thanks for joining us, and Nix and Mr. E.
Supposedly next week the finale is supposed to be like an hour and 10-minute episode, so it's gonna be a long one.
So yeah, there's probably got a lot to pack in there, and I think I've already mentioned Nix, and yeah, thank you Nadia for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. So before I fuck off, I will be letting us know that I will be doing Paprika tomorrow with Stu Penzo, and Fandad won't be here because he's had a bit of a family tragedy, so we're letting him have the week off. I don't know if Carl might be on. I hope he can join us. I hope Inside Man can join us as well, and I think what else have we got? Probably just Nielsen ratings next week, and more of my MCU videos coming on daily, and a lot of Toxicity. What have you got that's upcoming or available right now?
Yeah, we got the latest episode of Highlander came out earlier this week. I guess Monday. Pretty funny one. Dudicus is hilarious in it. He will be doing The Stand pretty shortly and is looking for people to be on the show. That's going to be the first big YouTube thing that he actually does. So I'll definitely be on that. I will be on Nadia's Penguin Top Hat episode next week, and she'll also be doing the season finale in the same one because she had gotten feeling sickly earlier this week, so she was unable to do it. I'll be on her channel again this week for From. Hopefully I'm off work by time she does that, and I can join in on that discussion. And I've got a couple. I did like a trifecta video that I got to publish. I got to clean it up a little bit that I was working on before this, which is 3 movies that I have seen from different streaming services the last couple weeks, and why everybody's kind of sleeping on them for whatever reason, and that they should check them out. And that's going to be, I'll have that out probably later today. I'll probably finish working on it right after this. And yeah, that's about last night. I was on with Enzo for a little bit, and this should be the week that Slapdash goes into full publication.
You're actually getting it published now?
Yep. So this
yes,
this is Slapdash. Yeah, I actually was using your notes that you gave me to correct some of those things. I don't know if you remember, you proofread it for me.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
last year, and fixed some of the stuff that my pseudo editor had obviously missed. So I was cleaning that up last night while I was in between streaming with Dudicus and Enzo. So yeah, this week it's going live. I'll be in my new offices, my new digs on by this time tomorrow. And yeah, I'm back working at the university. So yeah, every pretty much after this, every single stream you see me on, whether it's one of my own or my guests, I will be plugging the shit out of my book relentlessly.
Yeah, so. Hope those university students don't fucking cancel you for heady feelings. So.
Well, you know, that's why I go off of Lord of Toxicity, and I don't use my government name unless I have one of my close friends on the stream with me and he keeps calling me by my government name.
What's another fine mess you got us in?
Christopher
anything else?
Edwards.
Yeah. It's like Enzo last night. I was out in the stream. He's like, "You're at the bus company?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm cleaning this dirty ass bus." I'm going, "Fuck."
Yeah, I watched that. I only saw it for a little bit though because I wish I could have joined on. I just didn't have the time. But yeah, Blue Collar Loser. Anything you got upcoming that you want to?
Yeah, I'll try my Venom video out today. Just been backed up. You know, it's like recording a video versus editing it. I mean, plus I don't have like a big channel like Drinker and everybody where I'm not rushing to get my Venom video out. But Venom 3 wasn't as bad as I kind of go with Drinker. It was stupid but kind of fun versus Dark Hour. It was funny how Russ put out his video an hour later and everyone's like, "Yeah, why did Drinker kind of like this?" And you shit on Venom. And of course, Drinker's wrong sometimes. And I'm like, Russ, I know it's an open bar. Some of the stuff he was saying was kind of off, but like. So sometimes the reactionary videos, but and Sapenzo did see the Superman movie, the Superman, the Christopher Reeve documentary.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
I want to get that video. I did record it, but like, yeah, that's a hard movie to watch because boy,
where's that streaming at? Is that streaming?
It's not yet. It's still in theaters. Yeah, I mean, well, because it's a DC movie, I'm sure HBO Max will get it soon. So technically, it's still in theaters, but Yeah, it's like there's, and I like about the documentary is it wasn't just all of him being Superman. It was kind of like half. It was like, okay, here's Superman, but then here's the paraplegic, then here's Superman paraplegic. Here's life after Superman, before Superman. Like there's a lot they spent talking about. Like I respected the fact that it wasn't an hour and a half of him being in a wheelchair. It showed life before and after the Superman franchise. And there's a lot the production with, especially with Superman 3 and 4, that I didn't know. So I learned a lot about this man I never knew. And that's the point of a good documentary is they didn't focus on just him being a paraplegic. He was a lot more than just a paraplegic, and that's why it's probably one of the best documentaries I've ever fucking seen. And seeing his kids and what happened to his wife afterwards, that's heartbreaking as well, man. I mean, spoilers, I guess, but like his wife passed away right after he did. And like it's almost like
I
he
didn't know
held,
that.
yeah, and I didn't. Well, I knew she died, but like she got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, literally to the day. A year after he died, one fucking year later, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she
Oh
died
wow.
shortly thereafter. So
Fucking hell, man.
it's like, but she kept him alive, and in some ways, he kept her alive. And once he went, she went after him, and it's like it's a really tragic, heartwarming tale in the sense that you could say that as an actor, he was Superman, but as a activist, he actually did more being a paraplegic than he did being Superman. And it's really and like to this day, there's people right now in 2024 that are walking that were paralyzed from the neck down that are walking only because of Christopher Reeves, what he did. And like that's in some ways more, it makes him that much more of a fucking legend. Like not only were you just Superman, you're actually, people are walking because of what you did by becoming a activist for paraplegic people. It's fucking fascinating to watch this documentary.
And I'm gonna have to try and check it out though, because
Yeah.
I mean, I really do like Christopher Reeve, and it's
I
such
mean,
a
damn sure. I mean, said bring Kleenex, because I'm sure even like Lord Toxic, like you won't just, you'd be like, oh shit, man, like, and hearing from his kids and stuff, you're like,
yeah.
boy,
Even though I know you're not a fan of Superman, Lord of Toxic, but yeah, I still love him as Superman. Though I really fucking do. He's still my favorite to this day, and yeah, if that's it, if that's all you got to plug, then we've come to the end of the show. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for joining us, and remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to be notified, and please subscribe to my fellow guests and panelists and co-hosts once I put the channel names in the description. And if you wish to further support this channel, then the links will be in the description below. But right now, that's me done, and I'm off to the pub. Take care now. Bye then.
Bye.